Right now, in thousands of bathrooms across America, people are spraying bleach on black mold and watching it come back darker every single time. If that's you, stop for a second, because what you're doing isn't cleaning, it's feeding. Here's the thing. Nobody explains when you buy that spray bottle. Mold isn't a stain sitting on your tile. It's a living colony with roots buried deep inside the grout, the caulk, the drywall, feeding on soap residue, dead skin cells, and moisture. What you see on the surface is just the tip of it. The rest is hiding inside the material itself, and that's exactly why bleach fails so badly. Bleach molecules are too large to follow water into those tiny pores. So when you spray it, the chlorine blasts the surface white, evaporates within minutes, and leaves behind something worse: water. Water that soaks deeper into the material, delivering a fresh supply of moisture straight to the roots of the colony. You didn't kill the mold, you watered it. A lot of people sense this isn't working, but assume they just need a stronger bleach, a pricier spray, or a professional remediation service costing hundreds of dollars. None of that addresses the actual problem, which is that the active ingredient never reaches where the mold actually lives. So what does reach it? There's a substance that's been sitting quietly in the laundry aisle for over a century, completely overlooked, that doesn't just kill mold on contact, but actually stays behind in the material and prevents it from coming back. It costs a few dollars a box, and most people walk right past it every week without a second thought. That substance is borax, and its story starts in one of the harshest places on Earth. Back in the 1880s, prospectors combing through Death Valley stumbled onto strange white mineral deposits scattered across the desert floor. What they'd found was a massive natural source of sodium borate. Mining companies built specialized wagons, the famous 20 mule team rigs, to haul tons of this mineral across brutal desert terrain to be processed and shipped out. By the early 1900s, borax had become a household staple, used for laundry, general cleaning, and as a natural deterrent against insects and fungus. It worked quietly and reliably for decades. Then bigger commercial cleaning brands arrived with massive advertising budgets, and the humble green box got pushed to the back shelf. Not because it stopped working, but because nobody was paying to promote it anymore. Here's the science, and it's surprisingly simple. Borax dissolved in water creates a mildly alkaline solution. Alkaline enough to disrupt the internal chemistry that fungal cells depend on, but gentle enough that it won't harm your skin or your tile. The real magic is that unlike bleach, borax doesn't evaporate. When you apply a borax solution to a porous surface, the water carries the boron compounds deep into the material. And when the water dries out, the boron stays behind. It actually crystallizes inside the pores. Think of it like leaving a tiny invisible guard stationed inside the grout, one that mold spores simply can't get past. Boron disrupts the enzymes fungi need to process their own food. And because fungi have no way to break it down or get rid of it, even a small amount becomes lethal to the colony over time, while being essentially harmless to humans, since our bodies process trace amounts of boron naturally every day. Why doesn't everyone already know this? Honestly, it's just business. A product that costs under $5 and lasts for months or years doesn't generate repeat sales the way a monthly spray bottle subscription does. There's no patent to defend on a naturally occurring mineral, so there's no marketing machine behind it. The mold and mildew removal industry in the US pulls in hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and that's an incentive structure, not a conspiracy. It's just that cheap, durable solutions rarely get the advertising budget that flashy new formulas do. Plenty of contractors, property managers, and old-school cleaners have quietly relied on borax for mold problems for years, the kind of people who've tried everything on the shelf and found that this one actually keeps mold from returning instead of just hiding it for a week. Here's how to actually use it. Mix 1 cup of borax into 2 cups of hot water and stir until it's fully dissolved. No grit left at the bottom. Hot water matters because it lets the borax dissolve completely so it can actually soak into surfaces instead of just sitting on top. Apply this concentrated mix directly onto moldy grout lines, caulk seams, and any visible patches using a stiff brush or an old toothbrush. Scrub for about 30 seconds per section. This agitation breaks down the protective slime layer the mold builds around itself, letting the solution penetrate where it actually needs to go. Here's the part almost everyone gets wrong. Do not rinse it off. Let it dry completely. As it dries, the borax crystallizes inside the pores and keeps working long after you've left the bathroom. For prevention, take the leftover solution, dilute it with more warm water into roughly a gallon, pour it into a spray bottle, and mist your entire bathroom, walls, ceiling corners, around the tub, under the sink, anywhere moisture tends to collect. Don't rinse this either, just let it dry. You might notice a faint white residue on dark surfaces, which is normal and means it's working. Now for the realistic part. Borax isn't magic, and it's not a one-time fix for everything. If your bathroom has poor ventilation or a hidden leak, mold will keep returning no matter what you treat it with, because you're not addressing the moisture source. Run your exhaust fan for at least 30 minutes after every shower, squeegee your walls, and keep things dry. On natural stone like marble or granite, dilute the solution more and don't let it sit too long, since the alkalinity can affect certain stone finishes. If mold has spread deep into drywall, surface treatment alone won't fully solve it. That section may need to be replaced. And when you first scrub an established colony, wear a mask and gloves, since disturbing mold releases spores into the air. At the end of the day, this isn't about some secret being hidden from you. It's about a simple, effective solution that got buried under decades of marketing for products that work less well but sell more often. The next time you're standing in that cleaning aisle reaching for the bleach, remember there's a small green box sitting just a few feet away that's been quietly doing this job since before your grandparents were born. Sometimes the best fix isn't the newest one, it's the one that never needed to change. That's it for this one here on Hidden Fix Lab. If your bathroom's been fighting the same mold battle for months, give this a try and see what happens.